Ben McKee, West Rucker, Go Vols 24/7 here in Nashville at Memorial Gymnasium with our full court press following Tennessee's 76-75 loss to Vanderbilt. Tennessee was down double digits most of the second half. The defense was struggling most of the second half. It did pick it up towards the end, held Vanderbilt scoreless over the final 3.5 minutes or so. Was able to go on a 9-0 run as a result of that and give itself a chance to win the game. Chaz Lanier's blocked at the backboard with a chance to tie the game. Vanderbilt goes to the free throw line, misses the front end of a one-on-one. Chaz grabs the rebound, is fouled. He goes to the free throw line with another chance to tie it, makes the first, misses the second. Ball goes out of bounds. Vanderbilt fans storm the floor, and a tough, frustrating, a lot of different adjectives type of loss for Tennessee today.
Yeah, it's weird. You normally see when the front end of the one-on-one goes down, the second one seems like it almost always does go down. But it's that kind of day, right? Tennessee 17 of 21 from the line. That's one of the 4 misses. I think Tennessee, the last 5 minutes, there's a lot that you can be really happy about. They fought back in a hostile place. You know, Vandy did a good job of reasonably making this not like a 50-50 game. Like Vandy fans did get maybe 60% or so of the crowd. They were loud, they were good. And but Tennessee did enough things wrong in the first 35 minutes that you can't say that the loss is unfair. Like, I mean, Vandy outworked them on the glass at times. Vandy was smarter. Vandy made some tough shots. Vandy got the big run there, you know, late in the second half, or late in the first, early in the second. They just made more plays. And I think when you look at this, if that game goes to overtime, I think Tennessee wins it. But you can't sit there after 40 minutes and say the result was wrong. I think Vandy was a little better than Tennessee was today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about it. And I hear what you're saying, but I don't know if Tennessee wins in overtime because they checked about just every box they could today of something going wrong. Every part of basketball for Tennessee today was played poorly at one point in time or another. In the first half, it was the offense after Zakai Ziegler gets into foul trouble. The second half, it was the defense for the majority of the game until they made their comeback. They got bullied in the paint, out-rebounded, outscored in the paint, and that's one of the smallest teams in the country. Their tallest guys are 6'7" and 6'8", and they just bullied Tennessee. So some silly turnovers to where you're just loose with the basketball. Look, you tip your hat to the effort for Tennessee, but Tennessee didn't deserve to win that basketball game.
No, it didn't. And the reason I say that is because that would have been like a 10-0 Tennessee run. The game goes to overtime. The game's certainly going a certain direction. It doesn't matter now because it didn't happen. But I think if it goes to overtime, I would have liked Tennessee's chances, like Barnes said. But they just sometimes offensive rebounds can be like the blame can go the wrong way on that. You really have to go back and watch sometimes because at times it's not an effort thing. It's a guy not being where he should be thing, or it's sometimes the ball just bounces weird. Vandy takes a lot of perimeter shots. The ball goes off. If you're trying to block a shot and nobody rotates in your spot, you know, there's going to be space there for somebody to go get the board. So a lot of things can lead to that. It's not always simple, but some of them were just Vanderbilt fighting for the space, carving out space, getting it, and being there. And that's something that Tennessee's going to go back, watch that film. It's not going to be very fun because they let Vandy outwork them at times.
Yeah, and it's really disappointing that they played poorly now in hindsight. After we've seen all 40 minutes, because I thought they played well to start the game. Vandy did jump out to a 5-0 lead, an 8-3 lead, and Tennessee overcomes that to take the lead. And I thought they were playing really well until Zakai Ziegler had to go to the bench in foul trouble. Because of foul trouble, he fouls a three-point shooter in the corner, and that was kind of Rick Barnes' big talking point after the game. It's just he was baffled that Tennessee fouled a pair of three-point shooters, and it was his two senior guards that did so. And I mean, how big you lose by one, and obviously Ziegler's is shame on him for that. Rick talked about that. That put him on the bench in foul trouble. But then the 4-point play, because Jemai fouls the shooter at the top of the key, great three-point shooter. He makes the free throw. That's a 4-point play going into halftime. How big does that play look right now?
Yeah, it looks big, and it's just a tough day for Meshack. It just is. You know, he played really well a couple days ago. Today just was not a good day for him. He's not the only one. There were some other guys out there who struggled today. But it's little things when Ziegler's not on the floor. Like the end of that half, Tennessee had like all but 5 seconds, and that's a 2-for-1 opportunity. The only way that was going to be not a 2-for-1 was if they waited until like 5 or 6 seconds in the shot clock. And if Ziegler's on the floor, I think they probably do something a little bit sharper there. And they just didn't. And that's why it goes down the other way. Vandy's got the shot to make that last shot. And then, that should be a 2-point game. And it's not, because you're not managing the game. And that's where, without Ziegler on the floor, it's little things like that really hurt him. It's not just, he's the tip of the spear defensively, all that. It's not just the assists. It's the management of the game that's just not the same when he's not out there.
Yeah, and that's when Ziegler went out, that's when the game started going.
That's why Rick said he's not going to sleep as well when that guy leaves one day.
And that's why he's his comfort blanket. The offense suffered at the end of the first half. Then the offense comes to life when Zakai comes back in the second half. And then the defense just disappeared until the very end. And just all the misfortunes, or the poor play, I should say, caught up to Tennessee at the end. Tennessee loses a close one here on West End. Another big week coming up, big couple of weeks coming up. You've got a top 20 Mississippi State team coming to town Tuesday night, and then you go play the number 1 team in the country next Saturday in a building where very, 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 very few teams win. So Tennessee's got to get better in a lot of areas very quickly. We, of course, have all the coverage you need of today's loss and the state of Tennessee basketball heading into next week at GoVols247.com. He's Wes Rucker. I'm Ben McKee.